Today I'm going to show you how you in no time create a table like this, and from that table generate all these slides. So the first thing I've done is I've created a template here that I'm going to use as my base layout. I've got 2 countries per slide. You'll see that there's a flag, there's the name, and the name is repeated here again, which makes this a bit harder, but it will show you how you can use the bulk creator add-in to create multiple records per slide. So let's do the first thing, which is to add the data table to the slide. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the flag. So I'm going to use flag here for the first column name, and I'm going to show you the new helper function in the bulk creator, and it's basically this one here. It's place selected objects into the data table, but I want to first insert all the flags I want to use. I've got a bunch of flags here. I'm going to insert them into the slide. Now instead of having to drag each one of them into the column here, I can just go and use the helper function, say place selected objects into the data table, and I want to use the first column, which is the flag column, so move into the column, and there you go. I've got all my flags in my table. So what I have to do is just add the name now. So this second column is the country. I'm going to use the shorter version of country for C because it's a text field. You'll see why in a second. Australia, Botswana, India, Mexico, Namibia, and Peru. Okay, now I've got my flags. The one thing I want to quickly show you perhaps is that, let's say I don't have this Peru flag in here. This helper function is good enough to detect where to insert the image next. So I'll reinsert the Peru image. And if I have this selected, if I go to helper function, I say place selected object in the table, it will actually pick the next row that is available. So if I say move into column, the next row that had a free space was this one, so it's automatically in there. Okay, this is good enough for us to start. The first thing I'm going to do is just replace this top half and show you what happens. So I need to now insert all placeholders. I want to replace this Argentina with this Argentina here. So I'm going to go to insert placeholders, pick the C, which is the word here, and replace it. So you see that C is now replaced. So when the add-in sees C, it will take this text out and put into here. And I don't want this flag to be displayed. I instead want to use the flag. So I'm going to use the flag. It's an object. Insert it. I can place this over here. Remove this. I'm gonna send it back so it's behind this text. So if the add-in sees this flag, you can see the brackets are a bit different. It will use this column and put the flag in there. Okay, so I want this to be repeated down here. So I'm gonna take this out. Don't need that anymore. Instead, I'm going to use this. Copy, paste. I'm just going to drag it down here. And the other thing I want to do is I want to replace these 2 things here to be used as well. So I'm going to say insert placeholders, the C part, and this one, the C part. I can also type this in if I want to. Just easier if I use this insert placeholders. Okay, let's see what we get if I use this. I'll click on generate and I'll say use the current slide as the template. And if I press OK, what has happened is that it's used Argentina and replaced all the C's with Argentina, all the flags with Argentina, where it's meant to have gone to the next record and gone to Australia next and put that in. Instead, we've got this whole thing repeating. So let's try that again. I'm going to undo, and I can now, what I can do is I can highlight this, actually just these two things, and I can use the helper functions, and I say mark this as the next record, and you'll see what the add-in has done is just replaced the placeholders with a .2. That means that once it hits that, it shouldn't select the same record but the next one after that. If I do the same thing, if I wanted to repeat this for another one, let's say we wanted a third record, I can do the same thing, and you'll see it would have picked the third record. But that's exactly what we want. So it will pick the first record, then the next record, and for this one here, I can just type it in this time. I'll say .2, and it will pick the next record. So the same column, but the next record after that. So if we generate this again, and we say use the current slide as the template, press OK. This time around, it's picked Argentina for the first record, Australia for the second, and it's replaced the words correctly, and you'll see that throughout the slides it's done it correctly. The last one, it actually didn't have enough records to replace the last ones because there's an uneven amount, so I could add another country to add in here. But that's basically it. That's how you can create slides with multiple records into the same slide.